The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business. From $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters in Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO.
Welcome to the Icons of Real Estate. I'm Tim Calloway. We have a very special guest for you today from my hometown of Houston, Texas, Rachel Allen with EXP. How are you, Rachel?
Hey, I'm doing great. Great.
Yeah, thanks for being on the program today. So, Rachel, I'm going to ask you the same thing I ask everybody. This might be the only question that's the same for everybody right at the beginning. Were you a young child of 5 years old tugging at your parents' pant leg saying, I can't wait to be a realtor when I grow up? Or were you like most of us where you just kind of fell back into it?
Let's see. I'm sure I fell into it along the way. I know I wanted to be a lawyer and a doctor and a veterinarian. Those were my top three choices initially.
Okay, I know how that points towards, being a realtor.
But I want to say it was probably maybe when I was maybe 10, 11, 12.
Wow.
I knew I wanted to have an office. And this is just a quick story about manifestation.
Okay.
There was something that told me I wanted to be a business professional and I wanted to have my own office because I vividly saw this picture of me like looking out of a window of my own office. I didn't know what I was doing, but see this window behind me here? I closed it, so I didn't get a light from it, but I got my office.
Nice.
Didn't know it was going to be in real estate though.
Right. But sometimes that doesn't matter. I remember having the same types of, discussions with my friends when I was young. And I go, I don't care what I do as long as I wear a suit. That was my whole deal.
It was kind of
not realizing, back, and I'm much older than you, not realizing that, the guy over at Sears wore a suit selling, washers and dryers. Anybody can wear a suit.
Now the goal is to spend every day wearing your pajamas.
Right. Exactly. How funny has that changed, right? It's like, hey, now I'm working from home and, I sleep next to my office.
There you go.
So funny. So funny. So tell me, how did you get into real estate? What's the story? Did you have a mentor or somebody who pulled you in, or did you just go find somebody who knew what they were doing and ask them for help?
So I got into real estate by way of real estate investing, to be honest. I am a full-time real estate agent, but I picked up the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I'm actually rereading it right now. But that was the first thing that piqued my interest about real estate and how it worked, because I got interested in equity building.
Okay.
This was probably about 10 years ago now. And so the first step in taking those courses, I'm like, I want to learn more about real estate. What do I do? Okay, I'm going to go get my real estate license. And so that's what I did. Got my license. And then from there, I did dabbled in real estate investing, fix and flips, buying homes. And it was at this time I was living in my hometown, New Orleans, Louisiana. And as you all may know, hurricane hit New Orleans in 2005, Hurricane Katrina. And so it was completely just devastated.
Right.
So a part of that interest in real estate investing became a passion of rebuilding my hometown of New Orleans. So that's where the fix and flip kind of came into play. But then I met a guy, we got married. He moved me to Houston and I decided to become a full-time real estate agent. And this was in 2015.
Nice. And the rest, as they say,
the rest is history.
Or the history's being written. We'll put it like that.
Yeah.
So we know how you got started. We know the impetus, and sometimes things like disasters, like a hurricane, can be the impetus for those things. It's amazing how that is, right? But let's talk about today. Where you are now. Are you a solopreneur? Is there a team? I did see you do have some folks that you work with on a team. Is that your team?
So my team right now is more of an administrative team. I have an admin assistant. I have 2 transaction coordinators, and through building a downline through EXP, I have kind of pseudo agents that are a part of my group. I am looking to bring agents on to a team, so they are officially part of my group called the Rare Group, Rachel Allen Real Estate Group.
Nice. I like that. I like
So
that a lot. Yeah, Rachel, real estate, man. Smart. That's smart. That's like the first band I had. We take the first letter of everybody's last name and came up with the name Accuse, ACUZE. So I like how you did that. I like how you did that. So now we know how you got into the business, and we know how you have a group now, and predominantly all the Houston area, or do you go back and forth to New Orleans or New Orleans?
I'm all Houston right
All
now.
Houston,
So
all
I
H-Town.
haven't been back
Awesome.
to New Orleans in 3 years since COVID hit, which
Oh,
is
wow.
it's time for me to get back there and just,
Yeah, I hear you. Not a bad place to maybe set up office number 2, right?
maybe so.
Yeah. So let's talk about that future. Let's put our prognostication hats on and be, the geniuses we are, and talk about your vision board. Talk about what's on the horizon. What are the next 1, 3, and if you want to go out as far as 5 years, what does that look like for you, and how do you plan on getting there?
Well, I'll say my goal for the next year is to really focus on structuring a team, a self-sustainable team where it will not require me personally to transact. And so that's going to be building those lead generation structures, building good, reliable, solid team members. And then from there, I want to focus on real estate coaching. So
Oh,
being a coach and step out of the transaction space, while also, of course, it's always going to be in the background, building my own investment portfolio with my husband.
right. And now let me ask you that, because I do talk to so many spousal team, what I call them spousal teams, is he on your team, or is he licensed as well, or does he handle things for you?
He is licensed. He primarily deals in wholesaling. So he's strictly on the investment side, and I do more of the consumer facing retail side, but our businesses are technically separate. I run what I do in my business. He runs what he does in his business. And that's how we continue to stay married.
There you go. That's very smart.
But we work for each other. So he's actually one of my biggest clients.
Nice.
So
that's very nice. It's a nice symbiotic relationship,
We find ways to make it work.
There you go. Got something to talk about every night. Probably try not to talk about it. You're like, I don't want to hear it. I heard it all day.
Right. Like, let's find something else to talk about. But honestly, like, real estate is life. And I know that some people they cringe when they hear like your work is everything.
Right.
Of course it's not everything, but it's definitely something that I love. It's something I'm passionate about. And honestly, he and I have a very similar philosophy is, we want our life to focus around, like, even the work that we have to do, we want it to be fun. We want it to be something we enjoy doing. So that is our life. And a lot of that is the relationships we build, the networking that we do. And I don't know.
Yeah. So tell me this, tell me about Houston. Let's talk about Houston. Let's pretend I don't know anything about Houston.
Okay.
But tell me now, what's the draw to Houston? And are you getting a lot of influx into Houston, or is it mainly people moving in and around the city of Houston? And how do you find those people in order to get in front of them?
So I will say that the last few years, especially because of COVID, it stopped limiting people where they worked. So everything became remote work. And then when you look at Houston relative to especially the East and West Coast, states where property is not as affordable, when you come to Houston, property is crazy. What you can get for $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 would be like literally a little shed or something on a small piece of land. And some of those
Trust
other
I live in West Palm Beach. I'm very familiar with those sheds.
Yeah. And here $500,000 could get you a 4,000 square foot home, on a large lot. Yeah. And so I think that changed a lot of things here in Houston. And so we got an influx of buyers coming in, namely California or Washington State, as far as clients that I saw, and cash buyers. They're like, okay, ready to buy and not picky and just amazed by what they could get. So we've definitely seen a lot of that in the most recent years. And there's always going to be, Houston is big in oil and gas, which typically brings a lot of expats to the area. Right. And because of that, we have a strong rental market and a strong purchasing market.
Now you do focus on rentals a bit. Is that correct?
I do, because
Yeah.
of the nature of just, I got started in real estate investing. And so naturally I work a lot with people who want to start a real estate investing, like a single family home portfolio.
Yeah. Very, very, very
So,
smart. Very
so I
smart.
find high earners who, they make steady income. They want to start building up rental property.
Yeah.
And so it's like, hey, let's go find a house. Now that we find the house, now you need a tenant. And so when those tenants come in, like it's constantly,
Yeah.
all right, time to lease again, time to lease again.
Yeah.
And so we have a very steady system of bringing on, lease listings as
Okay.
well as purchasing investment homes.
Okay. And so you do look for investors for these homes, or like a syndicate manager in a sort, where you're putting deals together and finding investors for them.
Less syndicate. It's when I think syndicate, I think like, okay, I find a deal and I'm bringing different investors to
Right.
do a project, but I think it's a little bit different when I'm
Okay.
working with investors. I have my investors, I sit them down, we have a hour-long conversation so I could really understand their short-term and long-term goals.
Okay.
And I have an idea in mind of like, okay, you're looking for this kind of property. So I'll have my investors over here. And then I'm always looking at deals. I have different filters set up in my MLS that like send me reports every day. And so when I'm looking through them, like, okay, that's a good match for this investor. Let me see if they want it. And if they want it, then great, we move forward on it. If they don't, I shop it to the next investor. So it's not necessarily an investor saying, I want this and I'm going to look for the property. It's
Right.
more of a matchmaker
Gotcha.
situation.
How do you find the investors, if you don't mind me asking?
Like I find any other buyer or seller, just referrals
Okay.
from my sphere. I talk
Right.
about it a lot. And so it comes from other agents who know what I do, but don't
Okay.
work with investors. They say, hey, I have this person. I don't know what to do with them or how to help them.
Right.
Would you like to take them for a,
Right.
for a split?
So you're like the authority. I mean, that's what it boils down to. You become the authority in your sphere, right?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
it's
And
awesome.
so now we're going to start doing this year quarterly, like you want to learn about real estate investing and having like
Yeah.
workshops where I bring partners in, lenders, attorneys, CPAs to kind of
That's
guide everyone.
fantastic. That's fantastic. So let me ask you this. I don't like to use the word problem because I think we're solution givers, we're problem solvers, but what hurdles do you have to overcome on a regular basis that, if I could solve with one magic wand swoop, what kind of hurdles do you run into on a regular basis?
I think there's different kinds, like every transaction comes with its set of issues, especially right now, we're just seeing changes in interest rates and financing. But I
Right.
think those are the easy ones, I think, for me. The ones that are more difficult, I'm an idea person. So sometimes I get lost in my ideas. Ooh, what is it, like squirrel syndrome?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good idea. I want to start working on this.
Yeah.
Now I want to do this. So I think for me, it's a little bit time management.
There you go. Yeah.
And
Very common. Yeah.
systems. So I've really been focusing on building systems this year so that I
Perfect.
can scale.
Perfect. How would someone get in touch with you if they wanted to either buy, sell, or be an investor, or maybe even join your organization, Rachel?
So the best way to get in contact with me is to schedule an appointment. I have a Calendly link that I
Okay.
can give to you. It's
Perfect.
calendly.com/rare group.
Okay.
And you can book an appointment that way, but you can also find me on Instagram. Same thing. It's rare group _exp realty.
Perfect.
Drop a DM.
Will do. So this is something I always ask of my guest. And, I always say that you're the hit record and I'm the DJ. I just spin the records, if anybody knows what records still are. But,
I do.
but take us out with something positive, something that's on your mind, your heart, your soul that you'd like to share with everyone. Could be about work, could be about your spouse, could be about your dog. Whatever you feel like, you just like to tell everybody about, that's kind of on a positive note to send us out.
Sure. So I have this bracelet. I don't know if it's going to show up the right way. A very good.
I see it. Yeah.
It says execution. And
Okay.
so one of the things that the members of my group, we do every year is we pick a word that's going to be like our theme for the year. And I mentioned I'm the ideas person, but I'm really focused on executing because my belief is that whatever we want, we can have it. We just have to go for it. So if that's inspiration to anyone to like just do something, like execute.
Right.
Go for it. Whatever you want, dream it, and then go for it.
Perfect. I love it. Rachel, thanks so much for being on the program. I look forward to catching up with you over the next 3, 6, 9 months, see what's going on in, my stomping grounds of Houston.
Yeah.
Rachel Allen, the
Hit
real
me
estate.
up when you're out
Yeah,
this way.
I will. And, I look forward to the next time we talk, and thank you for being on the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
Have a great rest of the week and a great weekend.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.